Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Chels Cora and today I'm talking about step 5 of 12-step recovery. Step 5 states, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. After putting pen to paper and getting brutally honest with ourselves in step 4, it's time to get just as honest with our higher power and with another person in step 5. Step 5 can be super cathartic. It can be a really great release because it's like we're holding on to all this baggage when we're hanging on to our resentments or living life through the lens of our fears or our ill will towards other people. And when we let go of these things and we let go of our secrets, it's like we are breaking free from these chains of imprisonment that are keeping us bogged down and controlled. It's like we are breaking out of this prison cell because we truly are only as sick as our secrets. And once these things are no longer secrets that we're holding on to that are eating us away from the inside, then we can start to be free because they simply lose their power over us. A key theme to step 5 is ego deflation. And in order to understand ego deflation, we must first understand ego. When I think of the ego, I think of it as our identity, our personality, the way that we see ourselves, our sense of self, and who we are and how we operate in the world sort of thing. And our identity or our sense of self, our ego, begins to form when we are very young. And it probably first starts when we start to understand who I am in relationship to the things outside of me. So if a toddler has a toy, for example, we start claiming possession over that toy and say, okay, I know who I am because this thing over here is my toy. It's relative to me in some way. I have a relationship with it. So I can differentiate myself from this external thing. Or it begins when our parents start calling us by our name and we say, okay, this string of letters and vowels is something that I can use to define me because it's my name. It's what everybody else is going to call me. And then we start to consider other perceivable attributes about ourselves, our race or our gender. We internalize a whole host of societal standards, codes, and meanings about what it means to be black, to be white, to be Latino, male or female in our world. And we use those things to, even on a subconscious level, define our identity. Then we start developing various preferences and friend groups, and we use those things to define who we are until it's just this big stockpile of information that exists in our conscious and subconscious psyche that really positions us as who we are in our world and our own sense of self and identity. So when something deflates the ego, it means that something is threatening our sense of identity. After we write out a whole list of all the things that we've done wrong, all of the resentments we have, all the super personal stuff within us, and things that we're really not proud of, things that when we look at this piece of paper that is our 4th step, we're thinking, wow, this isn't really reflective of who I think I am because this is stuff that I try to avoid and not think about. And when we have to take a real hard, honest look at this stuff and share it with another person, it threatens our entire sense of self. It threatens our ego. And ego deflation is actually a really good thing because at our deepest, most spiritual level, we are not our egos at all. We are not our personalities. We are not our gender. We are not our race. We are not the type of car that we drive. We are not the type of house that we live in. We are not the type of job that we have. And we're not even our bodies because all of these physical things are temporary and will one day completely go away. The true nature, the true essence of who we are comes from someplace much deeper. The true essence of who we are is eternal. And usually when I explain this concept, I invoke a bit of physics. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, simply transferred. So when this body of ours that we are so incredibly identified with one day withers and dies, the energy that was once housed within it, that kept it living, breathing, heart pumping, all of that, that energy is not just destroyed or dead, it is simply transferred. And where does it go? It simply goes back to the source from which it came before it was ever born into this physical incarnation in the first place. It goes back to the vast sea of limitless potential that is our universe or multiverse. So when we take step 5 and we do that really scary thing of telling another person all of our wrongdoings, divulging all of our deepest, darkest secrets to them, and completely risking losing pieces of our identity, of who we thought that we were, of how they perceive us and how we perceive ourselves, what we're doing is shedding away some of these layers of externality and getting back to the true essence of who we are. And that is why the principle behind step 5 is actually integrity. Integrity can be defined as quality of being honest and having strong moral values, the state of being whole and undivided. When we let go of our ego and come back to who we really are, it's like we are coming back to wholeness. One person who I like to refer to throughout many areas of the program of AA or 12-step recovery is Marianne Williamson. In her book, A Return to Love, she talks about this imagery of a bicycle wheel where there is a center and then there are spokes pointing out from that center. The center can be our higher power, God, the universe, source energy, and each of the spokes are each of us as individual beings. When we incarnate to this physical reality and we have all of this layers of physicality and externality, we appear to be completely separate from one another. But the truth is, on an energetic level, we are all stemming from the same source. So we are really all one, all part of the same masterpiece. And by letting go of some of our ego, we come back to that realization. We let go of some of those fears, resentments, and insecurities that stand in our way of really feeling and knowing God's love. God is love. God has always loved us unconditionally, no matter what. It is our own perception of fear and illusion that has ever separated us from this all-knowing force of love. So when we admit to ourselves and to God and to another person the exact nature of our wrongs, we are not separate from God and from other people. And ridding ourselves of these things that have created this illusion of being separate is what really brings us back to wholeness. Step 5 is not easy. It is also pretty terrifying for most people. It can be like that click, click, click at the top of the roller coaster and then whoosh, as you have an exhilarating descent into relief and safety. It can be like standing over a really scary and dark abyss and then jumping off of that cliff, praying for the best, just to be met with a feather bed on the other side. Not everybody will get far enough, unfortunately, in the program to take step 5, but it is such a necessary part of instilling that psychic change within us that we need to stay sober for the long haul. Step 5 is by no means easy, but when we take it, we are embarking upon the ride of a lifetime. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you found it to be inspirational or valuable, please share it with a friend. If you liked it, give it that thumbs up and comment in the section below your own experiences with step 5, or if you haven't taken it yet, what are you thinking about step 5? Share that with us as well. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for more amazing content on the way. Have a blessed day.